Part 1: The Ensemble. 8 villainous shadows nestled in sage, awaiting a train holding a man in a cage, sitting quietly with hot wind at their backs. A lighter ignites, the silence it cracks. A rider tall and gaunt smokes a puff. Jackson the ghost man sits calm and tough. Young in years but old at heart, a past hard to escape, hard to depart. His cigar shrinks short to a bitter taste. He thinks of his new bride in this barren waste. The black steel train is a run-in late. She brings this gang's unfortunate fate. Kendall scans the land, a hawk's keen sight. His dark black hat shades a sun glaring bright. Reaching into a pouch, he finds a woven braid, gently caressing a gift his wife had made. A man born with a genius for any trade. Unlimited talents, a lucky spade. His hand is raised, ready to start the cue. A distant pillar of smoke now in view. Jodo the bruiser with mojo at his heel. Hands hard as stone and a mind of steel. His heart is full of gold and lungs full of breath. Hands ready at the reins and his pistol of death. The best rider the West has ever known. Talent wasted into an outlaw he has grown. Deep brown eyes full of a future ever so grand. Unaware of his blood he will leave in this hot sand. Now they begin the chase. An iron beast arriving into their embrace. She roars with a rhythmic pounding, and heavy black steel abounding. Casey the flashy rides with flair. He is locked on his prize, enjoying the dare. With a fancy shirt, colorful and grand, screeching a chi-huo, marking his brand. Loving the attention he gallops to the front.
Follow me, you ugly grunts. Yip, yip, ride, boys, ride. Chi-ha, chi-ha.
The gang enjoys all his cheers, which will soon be forgotten by their tears. Pistols ignite and pierce the air. The train closing its distance, arriving in its snare. Now the wildest of the bunch, yelling at his pony.
Ride, you bitch. Ride, you munch.
Highly regarded amongst them as the best. He wears a plated vest. Stephen the cactus eater rides tall. In this gang adored and loved by all. An expert rifleman and full of gear. Now along the tracks he rides near. Only the lucky ones know this man. A non-blood, yet cornerstone to this clan. Alongside Stephen rides Mighty Mike, too loyal to this crew, no other friend alike. Through the years he has rode with us all. Always expect loyal Mike to answer the call. This will be the last story of his adventurous life. He smiles with a grin and teeth clenching a knife. Now the train is a common, full of angry speed. Up on through the bend, metal and creed. A band of outlaws riding wild and free. Eyes alight with larceny. The wolfman rides hard and fast. From the first on board, the railing he grasp. With a heave and pull he is on the beast, hungry for dread and ready to feast. Logan returned for one last heist. A wanted man, 1,000 silver his head is priced. An original member of the gang who wandered away. The wolfman has come back on this unfaithful day. Dust devils dance where the shadows leap. As the desperados mount the steep, grasping handholds, daring feet, the hearts drumming a frantic beat. The last rider pulls up on the rear, a heart gleaming and eyes clear, with a heavy hand as he pulled on board. He takes the point moving forward, an old outlaw full of stories to tell. So this will be his last, when Nate the Great fell. Another pillar of the gang has returned. One last adventure he has always yearned. A bulldozer at the door, holding steady. His shotgun is at the ready. Aboard at last, the gamble won. The heist begins. The dice is spun. Guns draw quick, a nervous breath. A daring game of life and death. Carson the boy wants to become a man. Respect is only earned, and that's his plan. He is up ahead at the mountain pass, with an extra 9 horses ready to run fast. He's the gang's only escape. He waits impatiently and ready to scrape. He carries a silent, haunted gaze. Deep inside he knows these are desperate days. A future stolen, a life in despair. Carson waits with a determined, chilling stare. All the bandidos are now in place, unknowingly going to meet the devil face to face. Deep in the fortress near the front sits the prize of this hunt, once a king of the open plain, now a prisoner in endless chain. This warrior wears a weathered face, a reunion of outlaws, a deadly embrace. A caged man awakened by distant brass. Dreaming interrupted, now trespassed. Here sits the deadliest of them all, now trapped and tethered by his fall. Trevin the brave and warrior at heart, soon to be reunited with crew, no longer apart. A gang of brothers loyal and true. A promise to rescue, his hope anew. Trapped in a fortress, a metal beast, thirst for freedom, his fire growing a feast. Slowly from his boot he takes a pick. A gift from Felicia, a lover's click. a silent battle against a heavy clock. He quietly works the heavy lock, near impossible with his trembling hands, inching closer into removing these bands. Each click is a hope, a whispered plea. He has done it. One step closer to being free. Part 2: The fight. The first carriage breached, a sudden shock. The outlaws fill into a defenseless flock. Empty chairs, no passengers seen. An eerie silence, a haunting sheen. The train's vast halls, a hollow sound, a chilling emptiness, all around. Something's amiss, a hidden threat, a trap is set, a deadly debt. Behind the scenes, a plan takes shape. To trap these bandits, a deadly drape. Uniformed shadows steal in might, awaiting their ambush ready to fight. Each boxcar holds a guarded keep, where the lawman prepares their lead ready to leap. Footsteps near. A threat unknown, but Casey raises his pistol to the desperate tone. Quickly realizing what next awaits, he fires through the first wooden gate. In return, he is met by a counterstrike. Pierced through wood, a chilling hike. Now paid in blood for his fare. A forever passenger falling into a chair. As life ebbs out, a tragic view. A fancy shirt fades into crimson hue. His world went dark, a sudden night. His comrades watched in fearful fright. The brothers return a hail of lead, a flashing storm. Moving for cover, no time to mourn. Bullets fly, a fiery rain. Fighting like mad dogs quells the pain. A pair of outlaws, a desperate plight, climb to the roof, out of the fight. Jojo and Nate take their stage, hearts filled to the brim with burning rage. With cautious steps they creep and crawl. Hot howling wind, a haunting call. But watchful eyes from below they see. Lawmen alerted, called to destiny. With smoking barrels, a deadly aim. They pierce the roof, a fiery flame. The brave pair duck, a desperate plea. Heavy lead flies upward, mean and free. Nate and Joe give back a mighty hell. Their bullets fly and set sail. Bullets ricochet, a metal cry. The lawmen scatter, their spirits high. One fearless sheriff, badged with pride, ascends to the roof with nowhere to hide. A standoff tense, a deathly glare. Again smoke and powder fill the air. A sudden burst, a mist of crimson stain. Jojo pierced in the heart, a endless pain. He falls into the desert's tomb. Echoes fade in twilight's gloom. It is told his body was not left alone. Found by Mojo, who sat and moaned. A master fallen, a desert sleep. Mojo guards a body, a vigil's keep. Now empty chambers, a clicking dread. Sharp steel replaced bullets instead. Nate the Great, a hardened hand, faces the lawman across a creaking land. Knives unsheathed, a deadly gleam. The dance of death, a warrior's dream. On a moving roof, a perilous stage. The battle wages on a barless cage. Muscles flexed with primal might. Grappling, locked into a deadly fight. Twisting, turning, spinning away. The train flashes night and day. Steel meets flesh, red velvet art. Mortal wounds distract from a broken heart. Every thrust, both gasping with pain. The desert is gifted with bright red rain. The iron beast continues with stride. Carries them closer side by side. A large looming bridge will be their final test. Fate will decide Nate's mortal quest. The first volley of the fight now settled, no time to spare, fate now meddled. A fallen comrade, a bitter sight, a shattered dream, a fading light. With trembling fingers they reach for lead, their guns held high, their spirits dead. The shells clink softly, a mournful sound, as they filled their chambers, round by round. A moment of silence, a grim decree, a vow of vengeance, wild and free.
Anyone hurt that you can see?
We're good on this end, Mike and me.
Crazy bastards Joe and Nate climb to the roof.
No need to worry, those two are death-proof.
Hearing the chaos, Trev decides to move quick. He feigns illness, as if he has fallen sick. A guard approaches unaware. A sudden lunge, a desperate snare. The guard is seized, his world unbound. A slit throat muffles a scream, a chilling sound. A stolen pistol and keys, a precious prize. The guard lies motionless, a sacrifice.
I need a way to stop this train. Returning to my comrades, I must refrain.
A perilous journey, a daring quest. To reach the engine, a deadly test. The wolfman takes the lead. Stepping into the next boxcar, sweating beads. There is a chilling click, a winding sound. A Gatling gun's fury, zeroed and bound.
Hit the deck!
The wolfman screams a harsh yell. Now unleashed a fury of hell. The outlaws cower, a fearful sight. The wolfman remains standing, a beacon of light. A hail of bullets, a fiery storm. As the outlaws falter, his body is torn. With a heart of gold, a selfless deed. He shields his comrades, a hero's creed. A half-second was all that was needed. A finger on the trigger and a rifle heated. A steady aim, a focused sight. Stephen sends a flash of light. With a single shot, a deadly art, he strikes the gunner. A lawman's face splits apart. Another fallen, a heavy weight, a brother's last breath, a tragic fate. Ghostman holds him, a silent plea. His rage ignited, anger as deep as the sea. Atop the train on the swaying stage, a battle for survival, a deadly rage. The deadly dance now at a perilous height. Nate wrestles with all his might. The old bandito breaks free, a mighty throw. The sheriff tumbles, a fatal blow. A desperate lunge, a final grasp. The lawmen cling to Nate's boot, a deathly clasp. Together they fall. A tragic sight. Into the watery depths, on a long flight. Carson spots the train coming over the bridge. He gets ready the horses on the ridge.
They should be stopping in the mountain pass. Why is this train still moving fast?
A closer look, a chilling sight. The train is riddled, a deadly plight. Bullet holes mar the metal skin. A testament to the battle within. A sudden fear, a chilling dread. As Carson notices, the train is dead. The bullet holes, a haunting sight. His heart pounds faster, a desperate plight. He spurs his horse, a frantic pace. To catch the train, a desperate race. With reins pulled tight and spurs that bite. Carson rides like lightning, a furious flight. His horse's hooves pound, a thunderous sound, as they race the train across the ground. The wind whips past, a chilling roar, as Carson gallops forevermore. A glowing of rage, a deadly storm, Ghostman changes into a fearless form. He bursts into the next car, a fiery sight, a hand-to-hand battle, a desperate fight. His pistol blazes, a deadly hail as bullets ricochet, a chilling wail. He bites and kicks, a savage beast, his fury unleashed, a deadly feast. But lawmen strike back, a steel-clad might, a bayonet pierces, a blinding light. The outlaw falls, a heavy thud, his rage extinguished, a tragic flood. Kendall, Mikey, and Steve, the remaining band, their rifles raised, a steady hand. They storm the car, a deadly might. Their bullets pierce the air, determined sight. The outlaws fire with deadly aim. Their victims fall, a crimson stain.
This whole thing has gone to shit.
We are in too deep now to quit.
I won't stand to lose another one of yous. This whole thing is wazoo.
Let's get to Trev and get off this damn train before we all die in vain.
A perilous journey, a winding road. The bandits press on, a heavy load. But danger lurks, more hidden threats. A final battle they can't forget. Ahead lies danger, a waiting fight. The fiercest challenge, a deadly plight. The outlaws steel themselves, a determined band, for what awaits, a perilous land. Carson climbs aboard, a trembling heart. The train, a battlefield, torn apart. He runs through the cars, a haunting sight. His comrades fallen, a chilling plight. The carnage spreads, a crimson stain. The dead and wounded, a tragic pain. Carson's eyes fill, a mournful tear, as grief consumes, a haunting fear. His ears are deafened by a thunderous clash. Just a few boxcars over as the heat flash. A final stand, a desperate fight. Kendall, Stephen, and Mikey, a fiery light. They breach the car, a deadly fray. The lawmen wait, a deadly prey. A hail of bullets, a crimson storm. The outlaws fight, a fearless form. They take a stand, a valiant plea. Their bodies are wounded, yet they're free. The battle rages, a chaotic scene. The smoke obscures a deadly screen. The outlaws fight with wounded might, their spirits unbroken, a burning light. Stephen's ammo, running dry. His body riddled, a painful plight. As bullets pierce him, a fading light. Kendall fights on, a wounded warrior, but the lawmen strike a fatal blow. tearing open his chest a crimson stain. His life extinguished a tragic pain. When the smoke clears, a chilling sight. The lawmen fell, a deadly plight, but Kendall and Stephen pay the cost. Their lives extinguished, a heavy loss. Alone, Mikey stands, a weary soul. The only survivor, a heavy toll. He mourns his friends, a tragic fate, as darkness falls, a silent weight. The weary prisoner, a battered frame, made his way to the train's eternal flame. A distant glow, a flickering light. The town approaches, a haunting sight.
If my brothers have not found me by now, they are dead and revenge I vow.
Believing his comrades fallen, a bitter loss, his plan now shattered, a heavy cross. A desperate plan, a final stand. The outlaw seeks a deadly hand. A storage unit, a hidden prize, TNT awaits his last sacrifice. Part 3, engulfed in flame. Carson's heart pounds, a frantic pace, as he finds Mike, a wounded face. Surrounded by the dead, a chilling sight. His friend lies bleeding, a fading light. A heavy burden, a weary soul. Carson lifts Mike, a heavy toll. Through twisted metal, they made their way. A scene of horror, a dreadful fray. Beneath the moon's pale, silvery light, a bandit stood, a figure lone and tight. His heart was heavy, filled with bitter strife. Still trapped on this train, a symbol of his life. Avenge his kin, his burning desire, to see the train engulfed in fiery fire. With steady hand, he lights the fuse, a smoldering ember, a deadly bruise. The seconds tick, a countdown's pace, as fire consumes the hidden space. As the fuse burns, a flickering light, he sees two of his comrades, a chilling sight. Near the blast zone, they stand unaware, a dreadful truth, a haunting snare. Fear grips his heart, a heavy weight, as the seconds tick, a dreadful fate. He tries to shout, a desperate plea, but the sound is lost, a silent plea. He closes his eyes, a futile shield. As terror strikes, their fate is sealed. The fuse grows short, a final spark, a blinding flash, a deadly dark. A deafening blast, a shockwave's might. The train explodes, a terrifying sight. The metal tears, a twisted frame, the desert's embrace, caught in flame. Mikey and Carson engulfed in a blaze. Trevin's body evaporates in a haze. Debris rains down, a mournful sight, as hope dwindles in fading light. As darkness falls, the flames still burn, a mournful sight, a sad concern. The shattered train, a twisted heap, a silent vigil, sorrow deep. One by one they fall to earth, their lives extinguished, of little worth. The canyon echoes, a mournful sound, as justice reigns, a wound profound. A band of outlaws, hearts entwined, a brotherhood forged, a purpose defined. A tragic heist, a fatal flaw, their legend lives, a guiding star. The legends of the West, their spirits soar, their stories told forevermore. A band of outlaws, bold and free, their names etched in history.